Now, and same time, yeah, let's see what we can do on this. And quickly, I'll be rushing through this one as well. Before getting into this discussion today, do you have anything to clarify based on the previous discussion that we had? I think, you can remember we were discussing about basically industrial relation, now labor laws and things like. Right. Okay. If it is the case, now let's look at this. As quickly as possible, I'll be completing this. Now, this is mainly that what we are going to consider job evaluation. Job evaluation can be considered for the questions as well, right? Then during the examination. Therefore, this is also very important for you all to consider for assessment purpose, right? Examination purpose. And then same time, what I wanted to say, now this is a very much a timely area. At the moment, actually, this is going to be very important area as well. That is why I said, this is important. Mainly the reason is job evaluation meaning, right? We are trying to figure out whether this particular job that we are considering is having any form of what you call internal worth, right? What is the internal worth of the job? Now, let's say now, for example, when you say job evaluation, let's say a security guard. Right? What is the value of security guard to an organization? That position, not the person. I think you can remember, possibly you have discussed with one of our colleagues about performance evaluation. We are not looking at the performance, right? We are trying to figure out what could be the worth of the job, whether this job is worth to the organization. And sometimes you may be saying, now think about a receptionist, right? Or maybe telephone operator, or maybe a front office in a bank, right? What you call tellers. I think some of those banks now they already taken a decision. Now this front office actually it's not worthwhile, right? It is not A, B, C, or D. It is not about the person. It is about the position, right? Whether this position add any value to the system. If you feel no, then what you can do? Easily that you can remove the position. Yeah, person we can do something, right? Because possibly we'll be taking that person into some other category and utilize that person somewhere else. Now that's a different matter. What I'm referring to is we are here trying to figure out whether this position add any value to the organization. I hope you can remember those days. Most of the private sector organizations, they were discussing about wages and salaries for maybe managers. What they were saying, now you'll be getting a wonderful salary, sky is the limit, and also then you'll be getting a vehicle with this much of fuel allowance, and also same time a driver, and then mobile phone. These kind of perks and these kind of entertainment allowances and things like that. But what do you think about today? All other things remains, but driver missing. Yeah, because mostly in most of the positions, drivers are not being given. They are asking at the point of recruitment whether you have a driving license. Why? Because that category of driver, right, a personal driver, they have recognized as non-value adding. Yeah. Now that is why you can see, but still government sector it is different, right? Public sector organization. That is why then you can figure out, you can see how these things are actually operating. Now that is what all about job evaluation. Okay. Now then here, now these are the areas that we are going to consider under job evaluation. Now you can see we are trying to recognize job evaluation, how it is working, and also same time what is their contribution in terms of this job evaluation, and also what are the different approaches, right? And that is why I told you this is going to be very important for you. Yeah. Anyone can tell me, in your organization, according to your perspective, right? When you just look at in a class, right? What is the job you think you are spending this much, but it is not adding any value, they are not adding that much of value. That kind of a job, if you can recognize, anyone? Any examples? Now that is what, then you have an idea on this. Any job you can recognize. Hey, I mean, look, I mean, this job, maybe it is not adding that much of value. That kind. Anyone? Anybody? Yes. What about Ruchini? Do you have anything to say on this? Inoka? People are so quiet today. Hello?
Sir, job devaluation means in their appraisal, as you mean that one?
No. Nothing to do with appraisal. It is nothing to do with appraisal. This is about, actually, now we are trying to figure out whether that job, not the person, forget about the person, right? Whether that job adding any value to the organization. That is what. Any that kind of, I would say, useless job. I said like driver, because I mean, it is better to recruit someone who can drive as a manager rather than maybe like you are taking you are recruiting a driver. No need of driver. I mean, take a manager. I mean, who can drive? I mean, that's fine. Now, why? Because they think, I mean, now this driver position value addition is very less. Now that is one. Anything coming into your mind in that way? Any job in your organization? Because mostly you can see many organizations receptionist, right? I think now they try to avoid this position called receptionist. Yeah, because they feel like the value addition now you can consider from that position would be little awkward, right? May not be good enough, right? Kind of a feeling. Now that is why, then you can always think, right? Hope you got it, right? Hope everyone clear about it. It is not the person. I forget about person, right? This is about the position. Yeah, everybody clear? Yeah, I got a one. A tea maker in a large company. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Then, I mean, have a machine, right? A vending machine. Like, I mean, you can put some money, or maybe you'll be giving a coin where that you can, anybody can, I mean, if you wanted coffee or a tea, you can get it. Rather than employing someone, now that is I would say good choice, right? That you can see. Right? Now that is why, I mean, it depends on the organization. Now, how do you just look at, right? Wonderful point, right? Well, when you look at a tea maker, yeah, why you are going to have a tea maker? I mean, have a machine, right? Then you can see EPF, ETF, then gratuity, maybe other, like, other different perks, overtimes, I mean, all these things that you can remove. And also, machine is available 24/7, 365, right? Business, like, I mean, all these things are settled as well. Okay. Everyone clear? Can I proceed? Can I move forward?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Then now you can see definition. Actually, what we are going to look at within the organization. Now we are systematically figuring out whether that job is worthwhile. Job. right? Forget about the person. Again and again, I'm saying. And then if you are evaluating the person and person's performance, that is going to be performance evaluation. Now, this is about job evaluation. We are evaluating the job just to see whether that job is worthwhile or not. Okay, then now you can see job evaluation, same thing. Now, we are looking at the job, not the job holder, not the individual, but the job. Okay, what is the purpose? Now, this will be giving you some sort of idea about fixing the salary, right? But it is not the way to fix the salary, but it is giving you idea to fix the salary, just the idea. Now, you can see if you are going to recruit somebody like a receptionist, what could be the internal worth? But apart from that, there are so many other different factors to consider as well, such as what kind of factors? Maybe inflation rate, maybe market rate. All these things now you can consider about, right? Now, this is the one that you can generally consider, right? Then now that is why this is not a tool to fix the salary, but then just to get an idea, the basis, right? Then by looking at it, by getting this idea, then you can think about, all right, this is the internal worth. Yeah, if it is a case, when you are fixing the salary, it should be somewhere here. This is the range, right? That is the idea. And also rationality, right? Because you can see especially the public sector organization, it's widely discussed also called salary anomalies. What do you mean by this anomaly? There are differences, maybe variability among positions that is not going to be that good, right? What do you mean by variability? Because you can see, it should be hierarchical in this way, but sometimes it is like this, again small. Now, these kind of problems are there, right? Now that is why then we had to work on this area as an organization. And then for that, actually, what are the important jobs? Then what would be the payment for important jobs? What are the less important jobs? Then what we can do with that? Now, that way, that you will be able to get an idea. Okay, now that is a concern. The next one, actually, now you can see, right, internal worth, no, because now you can see one organization, there are employees, now they are working. They come to you and say, hey, look, that other organization, they are paying us this much, but for us, actually only this much. Why? Then for that, actually, you have an answer, right? Because they are that organization internal worth of the job is this much, but our organization internal worth is this much, right? Like that. Now you can always say, okay? Now that is the reason. And also, then you can have an idea about what is going rate. Then based on that, you can take decisions. Now that is where you can consider about this payroll cost also, right? And also you can review the pay structure, because certain positions that you can remove time to time, as I mentioned, drivers, receptionists, tellers in a bank, right? And also same time tea maker, right? Maybe security guard, right? Maybe sometimes parking attendants, right? Because having an electronic system, that's easier, right? Now things like that also you can see. And also when you have less number of people, if you are doing everything logical basis, then less grievances also. Right. Now, when you are doing this job evaluation, you have to be a little careful. When I have done this in a practical scenario, because sometimes trade union looking at you like a devil, right? Because they think actually that you are trying to challenge their jobs, right? As a result, there is a greater chance to lose their job, and that mentality comes. But that is where you can work very carefully on this. Otherwise, trade union get really upset with you. Therefore, you have to consider all this, and you have to have an in-depth idea about the job also, right? It is about what is the mental effort, what is the physical effort, and things like. Sometimes there is a symbolic value as well. I hope you can remember Goldface Hotel, right? Goldface Hotel, there was a doorkeeper, if you can remember, who was wearing a jacket. And also, now that includes a lot of, what do you call these, batches and all, right? Now that is what we generally consider about, right? Now that is why, then you can always consider in that way, because there is a symbolic value, right? maybe like Western countries like India, like president, right? President in government actually looks like very much important. No, right? It is a symbolic position. That is why, I mean, then you can look at in this way how you can consider about. Okay. Now, that is why, I mean, then you have to have a very good idea. Because if someone asks me to do something without preparation, like let's say in a hospital, right? Internal work of the job. I mean, I won't be able to do it because it's a technical work, right? Maybe if it is an engineering firm, yeah. Because I can remember when we were doing this kind of activity for dockyard, right? Sometimes back actually. Then we're supposed to get the support from different technical staff, right? I mean, separately, we used to recruit some technical staff to go ahead, right? Otherwise, we won't be able to take it, right? But that is why, I mean, these things you can always consider. Now, these are methods, right? What are the methods? Right. Then I need your participation also just to complete this quickly. Now, first one, ranking method, and then jobs actually that you are going to rank. Let's try one, right? I mean, just to get an idea, right? I'll be using the chat where that you can support, right? Yeah, then Madhushan mentioned elevator operators. Yes, that is also correct. Yeah, true. All right. Then right, I have placed certain jobs. Okay, right. I need a volunteer to rank these positions, right? Which one should be on top? Which one should be second, third, fourth, fifth? Like sometimes same level there can be two positions also. There can be two positions with the same. Yeah, no problem. Who can come first? Someone?
Sir, who is EFO?
CFO.
EFO.
CEO. I think I made a mistake. Maybe it is not EFO, CFO. I'll make it. You got it, right?
Sir, CFO means Chief Finance Officer.
Finance officer, correct. Yes. Not EFO, right? I made a mistake by saying. All right. Now, who should be on top? Somebody? I need one person to go ahead. Yeah, okay, CEO is on top, right? Okay. And now let's take somebody. Callum, do you like to go ahead? Callum? No. Right. Inoka?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, Callum. Callum, out of these jobs, actually, which one you think top of the organization, highest position?
I think CEO, Chief Executive Officer.
CEO, right? CEO, right? Okay.
Then second COO, Chief Operating Officer.
Okay.
Third one is MD, Managing Director.
Okay.
Fourth one is CFO, Chief
Okay.
Financial Officer.
Right.
Others, so maybe the same category.
Accountant, marketing manager, production
Production
manager, and all. And what about PA to CEO? Personal assistant. Same level or lower level?
Low level, I think.
Yeah, really little less.
CFO category.
Correct, correct. Now you can see. Now you can see that is Callum's view, right? Is there any different views, anyone? Callum started with CEO. Anybody else?
Sir, I think Callum said CFO, CEO, and then COO.
Hmm?
I think CEO and then MD.
First CEO, then MD. Okay, right. That is Inoka's view. No problem, right? That is what. Then we can have well-trained, assessors like you guys, yeah. Now who are knowing about the industry, who are knowing about the position, then who are studied about this position. Then you get a couple of people to do this, and then based on their average, then we are going to hold the position. That is what we call ranking method, right? But it depends, right? I mean, as you mentioned, correct. Like in Sri Lanka, we are respecting to sometimes American system, some organization, then we can have CEO on top. But in US right now, I think you can see some organization COO comes first, right? The Chief Operating Officer is the top position in some US organizations. But if it is a UK based organization, still that GM, MD scenario. You can see it depends, depending on the culture, right? Then based on that, you can have the position. Then sometimes same level 2 positions, if you establish, then you can remove. Obviously not like accountant, marketing manager, those are functional heads. But let's say now you rank CEO and MD in the same level, then why 2 positions? I mean, let's take one and remove other one. Now that kind of things can happen as well. Right now you can see the scenario. All right. Any questions? Are you clear? This is actually kind of a random method, you can see, right? But I mean, if you're using real trained people, that's fine. If you do not have well-trained people to do this, now then it is going to be seriously vulnerable. Okay? Yes, thank you so much. I mean, now most of the guys actually given the idea. Yeah? Okay. Now, then here you can see this is how I told you, right? Now, then what has happened? Now, jobs. Job 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are given the opportunity for 4 rankers. They have done the ranking. Then based on that, we are going to get the total value. Now you can see first job 6, second job 3, next one actually it is about 11, other one is about 10. Then lowest marks actually that will be giving the highest position, which means job 2 should be the top position. Then what will happen? I feel like job 1 is the second position, job 4 is the third position, job 3 is the fourth position, like that, and then you can establish. Now this is how it would happen. Hope you are clear. Any questions, anyone? Are you all clear about it? Anything to clarify?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Then classification method. Then we are classifying the job. Now, I mean, sometimes we can classify the job like top level, middle level, lower level, right? Sometimes executive level, non-executive level, supportive level, right? Like that, I mean, then you can categorize according to this, or else you can categorize according to income, right? I have given you an example here. You can see salary range, right? Maybe more than 20,000, right? 15 to 20,000, then 12 to 15,000, then 10 to 12,000, like that. I mean, then you can have different concerns here, right? Now, then based on that, you can just rush to. Now, that is one thing that you can consider about. I hope you are clear, right? Then that is also nice, like, I mean, when you are considering on this, then you can see different jobs. You can categorize. And these are higher position, these are next. Like that, then you can always establish the positions, right, in that particular income range. Now that is what you can see some organization, then we have what you call salary range, right? Certain executive salary range, then all executives that you are trying to place in there. Now that is what we can consider here in terms of this. And that is a relatively very interesting point that you can consider about. Okay, now that is what we call classification. You recognize a class. Then even now still like you can see in government sector some entities you have class 1, class 2, class 3. This is actually what they had done is classification. Then based on the classification you can just go ahead. Okay, hope you are clear about that as well. Then you can see third one, which is called factor comparison. I'll take an example. Now in Sri Lanka, unfortunately, we don't have these kinds of, but I mean there are certain other different types of entities actually they have it, right? And you can see it is about mental effort, it is about what you call physical effort, it may be responsibility, and also same time discretionary time, maybe working conditions, employee support. Now like that, and now who is going to find this? Now there are industrial engineers, right? Now they carefully evaluate each and every job and they are trying to figure out what are the different types of factors that you can consider about. Now think about a CEO, right? Now we have recognized these categories. Then what is happening? Actually, we are trying to figure out about a CEO, right? Then you can see CEO's mental effort regarding the job. Regarding the job, I mean, you have to put serious concern on mental effort, thinking, decision making, and all. Out of 100, sometimes you will be going for maybe 90, 95. Then what about physical effort? Because for CEO, actually, physical effort is not that relevant, much relevant. That is why we have reduced that to 50. Then out of 50, maybe like 10, 15, because there are a lot of support. Responsibility, again you can see responsibility out of 100, you can consider about mostly like 90 plus. Working condition, that is not difficult. If it is difficult, you can give full marks. If it is less difficult, you can cut down and give less marks. Maybe like let's say 10, like that. Then you can see, let's say now first one 90, second one maybe 10, then third one again 90, then working condition 10, then 200, right? If it is 200, then each unit you will be giving some value, right? Let's say each unit you are giving 1000, right? Then 200 into each unit price, 1000. Then that is 200,000. Then you can see worth of the job we recognize in that way, right? Now you can see regarding each and every job, I mean you will be looking at what are the factors. Then you are evaluating, not in random method, like I mean you are evaluating them with your good knowledge. And based on that you will be recognizing, then you will be going for recognizing how many points that you can allocate. Then finally you will be figuring out, okay, this is the amount that you can go for, something like that. Are you clear? Any questions? Can I proceed or do you have any questions, or should I explain again?
No, sir, clear.
All right, thank you, Madhusani. Then other one, actually you can see the point method, right? Then point method, actually you'll be recognizing, because this is the statistical point method. Now, using different statistics as a statistical concern like trend analysis and regression, and we'll be finding out what kind of changes, what kind of trend that you can see in terms of jobs, and then based on that, I mean, then we go for the evaluation, maybe economic value added method and all. Then using that, actually we are trying to figure out how much would be the worth of each and every job. Now that is based on the points like regarding the job scenario. Now that is how it is going to be. then what are the issues, like when you discuss about job evaluation? Because a lot of people, they have a wrong impression. Then if you do a job evaluation, that's fine. I mean, that's super. Then you're done with what you call this all the salary problems. I mean, that never happens, right? Because if you think it is a solution, right? Job evaluation is a solution. No, I mean, job evaluation, actually, we are valuing the job. I mean, apart from that, nothing, right? We don't look at any other concerns. Therefore, and it is giving us a small idea, right? That's it, nothing else. But that is why job evaluation is not, right? A job evaluation is not a solution for the problem that you have, right? Now that is the number. Then next one you can see, this is not giving you any idea about minimum and maximum salaries, right? It won't help you to fix salaries, right? This is nothing to do with salary. I'm just to get an idea only, right? Number 2. Number 3, based on job evaluation, you can't increase salaries. Right? Some people think, my goodness, this is a good tool to evaluate and find out salary increment. You can't do that. But this is useful if you are going for a collective bargaining effort. Why? At the end of collective bargaining, you can say, look, now this job is not that worth. We can remove this job, right, from the organization because it does not make any kind of value, right? Then let's remove it. That kind of ideas that you can see. Apart from that, now this is not going to work at any point. Okay, then those are the questions, those are the areas that I just want to tell you in terms of this. Any question, anybody? Anyone? Are you all okay with that? Can I proceed to next? Right. Okay. Thank you. Then I'll be looking at one. I mean, a couple of questions that I'm going to look at. Now you can see, I mean, now there are a couple of question structures. Now this is one of them, right? Now you have these type of questions where like you can answer, and now you can see there will be a choice also. Then you can answer these questions. I mean, it is about like, you know, out of such number of questions given, like you can answer 5 questions, maybe 4 questions, like that. Now you can see, first of all, one thing I want to tell you, because when you consider about this type of a question, then you don't have to worry, right? You don't have to worry about the size, right? For the size, actually, you don't have marks, right? Then maybe the content, right? What are the contents that you consider? That is the most important thing that I want to tell you. Then based on that, actually, you will be going through with the scenario, right? Now that is a concern. Then in this, actually, what will happen now, if it is 10 marks, right, at least 4 points you can consider, right? 10 marks, 4 points plus explanation, right? Wherever possible, examples as well, right? Then when you are composing the answers, maybe the point, explanation, example, then you don't lose anything. You'll be getting the full marks, right? Then even though this is descriptive, you can go for 10 out of 10. That is what my target for you, because if you like, you can go for it. Like, then you can get full marks for the paper. There is no issue, right? Then you can see first question. Now that is about like what we call discuss the role of human resource manager against other managers in our organization. And what is the difference between human resource manager and other managers? What do you think? Do you have a different ideas or anything? Madhushani, any suggestions?
human resource managers are managers, human resource, than the other managers. They manage, I think,
Machineries, like that.
machineries, resources likewise, but the people management is very harder than the other things.
Yes, yes, correct. Thank you, Madhushani. Like, that is the point, right? Because you can see, HR manager actually, then you will be briefly explain. Who is HR manager, right? Then don't worry about the book definitions. You can see like HR manager is the one. Who is handling knowledge, skills, and attitude to achieve organizational objectives in an effective and efficient manner. Therefore, now they are working with people, whereas other managers, sometimes they are working with machineries, sometimes they are working with other, articulated ones and things like that. Therefore, it is very important for, every manager to become HR manager, because when you are working with people, always that you have to handle people, right? Now, that is why every manager need to be a I would say HR manager, because then only they will be able to go through with it and get an idea about how to handle human resources. Why human resource handling is difficult? Because human, they have thinking capacity, they can unionize, they can get together. Now, because of these kind of things, actually managing human resource become much harder than anything else, because they can get together, they can think, they can organize and things like that. But handling people, now all the managers actually they should have some sort of capacity about how you could handle human, right? But if you can't, it would be a problem. Like that, then you can explain, elaborate, right? You can give examples if necessary as well. Now you can see the second question, right? And now second question, recognize and explain distinctive functions of human resource management. That is what you have discussed throughout this lecture series. What is that? Human resource planning, recruitment selection, job evaluation, then you have learning, training and development, performance appraisal, grievance handling, international human resource management, right, industrial relation. Now all these are, things. Then what you can do, you can briefly explain, right, some of these points, right, very briefly you can explain. Recruitment selection meaning what, right, training, learning and development is what, things like that you can consider. Yes, are you clear about it? Are there any questions? Now the questions, will you be able to answer that these questions in such a way? Possible? Impossible? Anyone? Would it be difficult?
No, sir.
Can do, yes. That's nice. Okay. Now, next one. Sometimes there can be questions with a little lengthier discussion like this, right? As a fundamental human resource activity, job analysis, right? Like that, then you can say, now in an organization, there are people who are working together and they have certain conditions. And at the end of the day, they were trying to figure out what is their job, but they were not pretty sure about their job. Then they were trying to figure out what kind of job they're supposed to do. Like that, then there may be a discussion, right? Then out of it, they can ask, what are the problems associated with this particular organization? Then if you are in a position to say, okay, now the biggest problem in this scenario is they are not clear about their problem, which means now they have an issue of lack of job description and job specification. Therefore, in order to go ahead with this, right, job analysis is supposed to be undertaken, and based on that, actually you should be able to develop job description and job specification, right? Job description is about preparing. It is about explaining what are the tasks, duties, and responsibilities, right? And also same time job specification. Now that specify the characteristics of the ideal person who's supposed to hold this particular job, right? Like that, then you can nicely explain and you can provide a little bit of elaboration. Then because of this job description and job specification, what will happen? People understand their role. They don't do unnecessary things. They try to stay within the specific framework and things like that. You can highlight. Clear? Now that is the way. Then you can see JDJS, right? Then selected position, right? Then you should be able to practically prepare JDJS. Now you can see all these questions are very much in practical nature, right? Then you recognize any position and then you can just develop. You don't have to be very technical and all, but still you can do it, I guess. Are there any questions? Are you all clear or is there any doubt? Anyone? Can I proceed?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Rojin.
Could you have the re-explain that one is the two question, the one part?
Here first part of the second question.
Yeah, sir.
Yes, recognize the importance of job analysis while elaborating this statement. Then here you can see, first of all, you can say something about the statement. As a fundamental human resource activity, job analysis need to be given more priority. Right, why? Because, when it comes to organization, when we are recruiting, when we are training people, then we should be knowing about what they're supposed to do, what kind of things that they have to do, right? In order to recognize the job, what we need to do, we have to conduct job analysis, and then based on the job analysis, then you should be able to recognize what is the job all about, right? Once you recognize the job, now that is where you can go for developing JDJS. Then once you develop JD and JS, then it is very clear, and also it is the basis, it is a fundamental concern regarding human resource managers' work today. Therefore, they can carefully look at it. They can take a specific action to go ahead and get all the activities or the job of the organization done in a very effective and efficient manner. Something like that, if you can explain. Now that is one part is clear. Then you can see importance of the job analysis. We have just explained, because then if you want, you can give some points also. That explain about the job. Then now who are the what kind of people can hold the job. Now all these things, now they can make sure it is clear. Now like that, you can nicely explain. Hopefully you got it, Ruchiri.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Right. Then what about this? Now you can see they are asking you to develop, indicate important process stages, investigation, job designing. Now, how do you design a job? Right? Job designing, it is not going to be that easy. How do you design the job? Then you can consider about job design, right? I think you have already discussed there about job simplification, job enrichment, enlargement, job rotation, and things like. Okay. Then when you get a job, then what you do? You are going to recognize the job, and also once you recognize, then you are going to develop it, right? Because in certain cases, you have to simplify the job, because just to make sure that people can just absorb very easily. That is one. The next one, actually, it is about what you call job rotation. Then you can make that employee multi-purpose, capabilities, right? Multitasking, right? Like that, then you can discuss about. right? Then you can prepare, right? I mean, how do you do this? What are the applications? Then all these things you can discuss. You can explain what is job enrichment, what is job enlargement, what is job rotation, and also at the same time what is job simplification. Like that, different approaches you can discuss, right? Then you can write this as a report to the board of management. Then you can look at the fourth question. Hope you are clear, right? I just jump into fourth. Basically, all these depends on the level of revision that you do, right? What do you think? I can see in line with the above statement, recognize different resourcing approaches, right, available for organizations in practice. How do you, resourcing in the sense basically recruitment, how do you recruit?
How do you recruit means the sources for recruitments?
Excellent, excellent. That is one. What are different recruitment resourcing approaches? You can see.
So the main thing is internal internal opportunities, internal opportunities, internal circulations.
Yes.
So after then only publishing in the sites, career portals.
Yes, yes. Correct. And then internal recruitment, that is one source, one approach. Then you can use maybe headhunting, right? Then you can use maybe different internships. Then you can give them opportunity to work on contract basis, right? Because you need people, now you make sure people are available with you. That's it. Right. The next one you can see, prepare an employee recruitment selection plan. Stepwise, if you can prepare, that's nice. Now, how do you do this? Anyone? Then first of all, you have to recognize the number one, a vacancy, right? Then a particular head of the department will recognize the existing vacancies. Then once you recognize the vacancy, then what will happen? Head of the section, head of the department supposed to make a request, that is called HR requisition note. You are preparing this and you are asking the HR to provide more labor, right? Now that it is done. Then afterwards, what you should do? Then afterwards, actually, that you can send this to the head of HR for evaluation. Then he will be getting the approval from CFO, whoever necessary. Then with that approval, you will be getting that approval letter. Then what will happen? Now you can consider about advertising. Then you will be going for maybe examination. Sometimes you will be going for some other levels as well. After going through with all these things, then you will be doing a selection. Right. Any questions, anything? Are you all clear? There is a question. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Very nicely that you can, evaluate each and every step, right? In that kind of a question, don't write too much, right? Very briefly, you can elaborate as well, right? Then question number 5.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Sashikala.
Yeah, small thing. So while previous lecture, my ma'am also told, clearly defining the requirements on when you're calling for a CVs or whatever. So when you're mentioning anything, mentioning on the career portal,
Yeah.
clearly defining the requirement is very important. Then candidates will read through and whether then only they can realize whether they are fit for that or not, whether they
Yeah.
are fitting for. So if there are 10 options, are they fitting for at least 8 or 10? Then only they can apply for that. So
Yes,
who is giving that update? The relevant department manager, or is it designing by HR?
It is like this. Actually, you are referring to job, Shashikala, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Generally, I mean, initiation taken up by HR. Right? Initiation taken up by HR, but they don't know any technical stuff. Then what happen? It is again manager's duty to specify and go ahead. Right? Manager supposed to take up the challenge, but always HR is supportive. Now they will be by the side just to help them to make sure things are moving in a better way. That's it. Now that is how it is happening. Hope you are clear.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
All right. Okay. Right. Now, if you consider fifth question, critically evaluate the above statement indicating involvement of performance management and appraisal. Successful organization always consider development of employee through performance management process. Then here, critical evaluate. Then answer is yes, they do it. They had to do it. And in that process, actually, they had to do setting targets in a proper way, taking participation, measurement, helping, providing necessary resources for production. Like that, there are so many things, right? And also, then in this particular process, actually, if you have proper what you call performance appraisal mechanism, then every quarter, every month, or every year, like then you can nicely recognize the particular employee, his or her capacity. With that, actually, very nicely, they can pitch, they can go ahead, they can achieve organization objectives in a very successful manner. Like that, I mean, if you can explain, I mean, that would be great. Right? Anyone having any doubts or any questions? If you have anything, please. Can I proceed? Can I go to next question? Or are you okay? Yeah, okay, thank you. Now, then you can see right. Explain how performance evaluation could facilitate training need assessment. You can see when you go through with this, like when you do performance evaluation, now that is clearly indicating what kind of deficiencies that you have, right? And then once you go through with the process of performance evaluation, at the end of the evaluation, you come up and you recognize, okay, this particular employee has performed up to this level, but he's not in a position to go more than that, mainly because of the reason why now it is not capable of, like, achieving due to these reasons. Like that, I mean, if you can say, that would be great. Just give me a second. Sorry about it. Yeah, then you have, there is a question like, it is about how to prepare cultural awareness program. Now, then you can see, first of all, you have to recognize to whom that you are going to address to, right? Which category of people? Newly recruited who? Newly recruited management trainees, or newly recruited executives, or newly recruited general staff. Like that, then you can recognize the category. Then once you recognize the specific category, then you have to pitch. Now, I think you can remember training need assessment. Then you are recognizing the training need first, right? How do you recognize the training need? Maybe based on the performance appraisal or whatever that you are recognizing the training need. Now that is one. Then after recognizing the training needs, what you do next? Then you are planning. Now, where to do it? Who is going to do it? Right? And also what facilities, what is the location, right? Then you are going to consider about preparing this plan. Then you are going to consider about training method. Now, how do you provide this training, right? Now, in that actually you will be clearly recognizing, now you are providing the training in terms of what, right? Whether it is online training, whether it is like that, then you can consider about. Now that is the way, then you can always look at these, training cycle stages. If you look at it that way, now that's it, right? That is how. Then finally, evaluation method, right? You have to evaluate the training, whether training is properly done or not. I hope you got it, Madhushana.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right, no problem. Then stick to that training cycle. Training need assessment, how do you do that? Then training, designing the training plan, then delivery, and then evaluation. If you run through with those, that's perfectly fine.
A small thing, what is the meaning of echo?
Where it is? Echo in the sense? Yes, Ashikana. Where?
Companies, they are doing companies doing that echo conversation. During that conversation only they are asking the training requirements and development areas that employee required.
Yeah, then here what will happen now, basically when you consider about most of the companies, now they have employee communication methods, different employee communication methods that they are using. Now that is where you consider about this echo, right? Then employee communication and organization, now that is what they consider. Now that way, then you conduct continuous communication with employee, maybe as a feedback session or whatever. Then you try to figure out what are the needs, what are the employee training needs. Now let's say now employee performance down, then you are trying to figure out why performance down, like that. You got it right, Sashikana?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One more thing, sir. Now that after training sessions, how they are evaluating that how much it reached to that employees.
Yeah, for that actually you have very traditional feedback sessions, right? There is a questionnaire prepared, then you are distributing among participants and you try to get something. That is one thing. Second thing actually, now in this process, then what you do, you are giving them examination, right? After the training, examination. After the training, you can have an interview. After the training, you can ask them to prepare a portfolio or a research report kind of a thing, right? Or maybe reflective note, maybe a presentation. Maybe you are asking them to demonstrate. Yeah, then if you are a driver, after the training, then you are asking them to drive. Now these are different methods that you can have. Clear, right?
Yes, sir, it's clear. Thank you.
Right. Then and there, you can see now this performance evaluation question. Then we are approaching to next one. Develop a pay mechanism. Now you can see, right? How do you pay? You can consider about the pay mechanism what is the way that you are going to make the pay, like, I mean, now in order to motivate, right? I mean, then if you consider about Maslow's needs hierarchy, it's not a motivational theory, but it is a needs, right? Then you are providing basic salary to satisfy basic needs of the employee, food, lodging, and things like that. Then you are providing job security, right, and the income security. Now that is going to be the second category. Yeah. Then you are going to next category, next level, which is social needs. Then you are providing them with maybe trips, right? Maybe some social gathering, maybe restroom facility. I mean, all these things are coming up with that. That is third. Then fourth one, you are giving them the recognition, right? Where like job recognition, position recognition. Now those are coming under that. Then you are going to next level. Now that is going to be what you call actualization. He'll be given the opportunity to become a head of the organization, head of the department. Now, like that position will be given. Now, that is something that you can see. Right? Then you can see, take a theory, explain how you adapt, how you apply this in practice. Then you can see, prepare a report over the factors to be considered in determining the employee reward, right? What are the factors? You can see there are things, right, that employee's capacity, employee's qualification, right, then employee's expectation, right, labor market condition, right, then income, maybe salary survey findings, and also going rate in the market, nature of the job, right, and also the customer segment, right, customer expectations, right, all these things now you can generally consider as factors which are to be considered in determining the wages and salaries. Okay, now all these factors very briefly if you can explain, that would be superb. Now, yes, yesterday's discussion, I think you can see over here. Explain the above statement indicating different provisions available in Sri Lankan labor legislation. Now you can see what we discussed last, right? This kind of thing could be considered in general. Like, I'll just have a look. That would be very useful for you. Okay, then same thing. Now, let's say wage board, shop and office factory ordinance, right? Maternity benefit, gratuity, child labor, shop and office factory ordinance. Now, all these legislation, we had a discussion. Now, you can see why. Now, that discussion, if you can summarize into here, that would be great. Now, that is the expectation. The next one, discuss importance of employee health and safety for organizations, right? Organizational performance. Why it is important? Now you can see it is important because employees are fit, right? If employees are fit enough, then only you can get the best, right? Otherwise, you won't be able to get the best outcome. Now that is why you have to make sure that employees are 100% fit to work. Then only you can get it. That is why organizations spend a lot of money to make sure that employees are mentally fit, physically fit, which means employees are healthy, right? Then now that is one thing, for that actually what kind of initiatives, right, that you can consider about why it is important, how do you do this? Both you can consider. This is what I said, this is just an example. Now if you carefully look at, now you can see a story like this. Based on this story, there can be questions which are being recognized here about, now if you carefully look at, now you can see, first evaluate the importance of health and safety. This is just an example for you to see this, right? Importance of health and safety of an organization. Briefly explain health and safety initiative in a selected private sector organization. How you could do it, right? What is the way? Now that is a question all about. Now then here you can see in order to ensure employees' health or safety, right? That I didn't discuss that. Hopefully you have possibly considered about. Now you can see. Then you can see discuss frequency of, discuss how frequent job analysis need to be conducted, right? I mean, it has to be as soon as possible, right? I mean, it is with a very short duration, right? But every month you can't do that. But maybe on annual basis, like at least, or maybe every 2 years that you can do it. Now, if it is the case, possibly you can enhance, right, the applicability of the job, because you are always going through with, most appropriate, job concerns. Now that is what I can tell you here, right? Then not very frequently, but at least every 2 years you can go for it. That would be perfect. Right, and then you can see 7th question, strategic importance of performance appraisal. Now you can see straightforward, right? Why performance appraisal important? Because you are trying to recognize people for future, who can perform. Then sometimes, people may not be in a position to perform, but then you can recognize what is their capabilities and locate them in correct place. And also explain the difference between performance appraisal and management, right? I think your discussion was performance management. Now here what will happen? We are trying to figure out how good people are performing. That is what performance appraisal. Performance management, now you are going to recognize the capabilities of these people and also how you can make them to perform in a sustainable manner, long term. Now that is why it is going to be relatively very, very important for us to see. You can consider about. Right? Then you can see distinguish then I can do that. There is no problem with that. Right. Hope you got it. No. No, it has gone to one person only. Got it right? Just give me a second.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Then. Right. Okay. Then basically now then these two questions also same because I made it for your idea. Now this is how actually it would be like these are the areas basically that you can consider about. Here and there may be changes, but basically coverage wise that you can see. Right? Then yes. Other questions are the same thing. I mean that is why, right? Then same areas are covering, right? Then those main questions are like I mean just going through it. Now that is how it is going to be. Hopefully, like you have an idea now, like what are the areas, how it would be, what kind of writing, and what could be the focus. Because basically, when you are answering to the questions, the most important thing is the point, right? The point, and then explanation about it, and the appropriate example. Obvious, every point you can't give examples, right? But then as much as possible, you can consider. Hope you are clear.
Excuse me, sir, is it open book or closed?
No, it is closed book. It is closed book. It is a closed book exam.
Sir,
Yeah.
there's no assignment link open in the portal yet.
Right. What is the submission date given?
It is 16th March.
16th. No, I'll do that. Right, I'll do that. Nothing to worry. Thank you, Inoka. Anything else, anyone? All right. If there are no questions, yeah, then thank you so much. If you get any questions or anything to clarify, just contact us. We'll give you a possible help. Right? Then nothing to worry. Like I hope if you can look at what we discussed previously, that would be more than enough. And also, then from our side, actually, on behalf of everyone, I mean, thank you so much for you guys because you were participating for the discussion, even though online. And then we were, I mean, personally, I'm also very happy because the reason now, it was not a dead kind of a